Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining the call today. I'm so glad you're here. Well, my name is Marusha Murphy, and I'm actually here today with Kathy Burns of Add Space to Your Life. You know, our goal today is that by the end of the call, the end of this webinar that we have together with you, you'll be able to leave with hope that you can have a plan to tackle the clutter and the muck in your home. Kathy Burns is the founder, actually, of AddSpaceToYourLife.com, and I invite you to visit her site after our call today. She is also the author of Smart Guide to Home Organization and the best-selling book, How to Master Your Muck. She's known to work primarily with busy professional men and women just like yourself, and has a knack for empowering her clients to clear the clutter so that really, you and I, if we were her clients, that we could live life to our fullest. She's a contributing expert to Fox and NBC News. She is frequently called upon by media, and she's quoted in national magazines such as Better Homes and Gardens, Real Simple magazine. I know she's been featured also in Oprah's The O magazine, and she's been on Good Morning America, Martha Stewart Living Radio, and many other broadcasts. So it is truly a pleasure to have her with us today. Welcome, Kathy.
Hi, Marusha. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, you really, as we get started, I want to see if you can tell us a little bit more about something that I heard on a recent NBC News segment that you were a part of. And that's about our inability or ability to change how our inability or ability to change has had a direct relation to the amount of clutter in our home. What do you mean by that?
What happens is some of us are stuck where we are in life because we're afraid of things changing. It's the fear of the unknown. And even though we're uncomfortable, where we are, sometimes it's easiest just to stay where we are and not move things around or make things any different. Because we're afraid or uneasy, we continue on the same path we've trudged on for years, over and over, sometimes even literally trudging over the junk and clutter in our life, every day, day in and day out.
So do you think that the clutter really results from people being stuck?
Absolutely. When we feel unhappy or stuck in a situation, we often shop. Right? So we shop to feel happy. We even shop to kill time. And what happens is that we accumulate the items that begin to overflow from our cabinets, our closets, and our garage. And also when we have too much stuff to deal with, we get into overwhelm. So we can't even begin to decide where to start. So it's the endless loop. We have clutter, we get stuck stuck because we have clutter. So on and so forth. It goes around and around, and we get stuck in this cycle.
That is so, so true. And I know one of the things that you're fantastic at is helping us get rid of that clutter. So my question really is then, how do we begin to get rid of our clutter?
Well, we begin with a mental shift. And, it takes a shift in our minds to really begin to let go. What I tell my clients all the time is letting go is a muscle that needs to be exercised. But before you're going to start exercising, just like in any type of physical activity, you have to kind of get your mind psyched and your mind shifted into it. And you have to begin to have the mental capacity to say, yes, I'm going to start working out this muscle of letting go. For many people, it's uncomfortable. And it's so uncomfortable that we default into keeping everything the way it is. Just like, overweight, we're uncomfortable with being overweight. But until we make that mental shift to decide, okay, I'm going to start letting go. I'm going to start changing my life and, being less encumbered by our stuff. That's really step one. It's just kind of getting your mindset and focus around it.
That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I definitely see that is critical for us to think about when we first get started. Now, I know one of the things that you're great at as well is giving us some analogies. And you've drawn some parallels around our relationship with stuff and how it relates to our mental and our physical health. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, clutter is like weight. In fact, did you realize that the more clutter people have in their homes, the more likely they are to be overweight?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, what happens is that if you have too much stuff, then you generally don't move around as much. Literally, your environment's smaller, and you also get shut down, literally and physically, from making decisions and actually making progress. So you don't really move and lift and move things around. Some people, as you've known on like the hoarder shows, that it's so much so that they can't even move in their environment. But basically, clutter keeps you stuck, and clutter keeps you from moving forward, and therefore your health is affected, your mental well-being is affected. I have several clients that will say, I don't even want to go home because as soon as I walk into my home, I'm zapped. I'm exhausted, right?
Yeah.
So, our energy gets taken up and sucked up by stuff in our environment. And, it's normal for us to be all in overwhelm right now with our possessions. A lot of times people are saying, well, my possessions are possessing me. And it's because of the consumerism in the society. We have so much consumerism. It's like buy, buy, buy. And we're bombarded by things, people and advertisements, buy this, buy that, your life will be better. But I think that hopefully we're going back to a more simple concept of the less we own, the happier we are. I think there's a shift taking place in that. And there is a big shift in health and well-being. We're all trying to focus on that more. Getting our life more in order and our health and our body back into shape.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. This reminds me also of a statement that I've heard you say a few times, and you mentioned it here as well, that every object in our home requires energy. Can you get into that a little bit more? I'm not really sure if I understand what you mean by that exactly.
Absolutely. Well, what happens is this. Let's take something as simple as a bag of potato chips, okay? And I try to draw that parallel because it makes it easy. So, and then you compound this times everything in your life. So, see, what happens is the energy expenditure starts when you determine you want to buy a new bag of chips, right? So you're spending energy around, okay, I'm going to buy some potato chips, right? But then you probably spend energy beating yourself up as, I really shouldn't eat those potato chips. What am I buying potato chips for?
All the time.
Right? So there is some energy around that. Then you actually drive to the grocery store. You spend the gas and the time energy to do that. Then you spend the monetary energy. Well, it actually, because there's so many different types of chips, you could be standing in front of them saying, do I want Frito-Lays? Do I want, Ruffles? Do I want barbecue? What do I want? So there's more energy. Then you go to the register. You actually spend the monetary energy of buying them, right? Then you bring them home. Then you probably spend more time and energy saying, oh, just a couple chips, and then you eat a couple more, and then you start beating yourself up about that. There's more energy. Then the bag's open, and you get, okay, maybe you did your 5 chips. Woo! Not really, but maybe it happened.
Right? Once in a
lifetime
kind of moment.
Then if there's any left over, then you have to figure out how you're going to store them so they don't become stale. And if you're in a household of children, where are you going to store them so the kids don't get them so there's some left over? So there's more energy around that. So you see all the energy that's taken just from one bag of chips, right?
Yeah.
My question to everyone is, did that bag of potato chips cost you more energetically than what it gave you from the groovy feeling of munching and crunching on them, right? The long-term lasting effect of did you gain weight by eating them, that's just one thing. Did they get stale because you didn't close them up properly, and then there's more beat-up energy around that. So if you multiply just that bag of chips and by the average of 10,000 items we have in our homes, do you understand the vortex of energy that's spent in purchasing, maintaining, storing, using, and retrieving every single thing in your house?
I am so tired just thinking about it. I'm looking around at my house right now as you're saying that, and I'm thinking, you're right. There's a memory or there's an energy attached to every single piece, and I had never thought about it that way. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, and I'm sure our audience is doing the same thing because, who can't after that beautiful example right there? And one of the words that you mentioned, you mentioned the word guilt in your potato chip example. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Why do you see that we experience guilt when we're cluttered?
Well, when we have too many possessions in our life, we feel like we're constantly spinning out of control. We're constantly obligated to get our life under control and get things organized. A lot of my clients say, I can't even go out to lunch with my girlfriends because I feel like I should be at home, getting the closet in order. I couldn't even find the shoes I wanted this morning, and so should I really be going out with friends, or should I be straightening up my house? Literally, our possessions are beginning to possess us, and, we go into a lot of guilt cycle around not being into control. Not having things under control. We feel like our whole life should be in order before we're allowed to do things. Get your life together and then you can, get your college degree and then you can. So it's that. It's do this first, then you get that. And so there's a lot of guilt around stuff if we have too much of it.
That's right. That's right. Well, this is really powerful conversation because, I think for so many of us who are busy professional men and women who are listening to this right now, we can totally relate to this. We're constantly thinking about wanting to do things with people that we love, but we look at our offices and our homes and all of these spaces that we have possessions in, and we are completely overwhelmed by what we see. And that's why we're here. That's why we're right here on this webinar together. One of the things I really would like to talk about right now as well are the various areas in our homes and how we can begin to add space to get them more organized. One of the reasons I wanted to interview you today and be here with the folks that we're here with is because I also am a busy professional. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I own my own business. I run my own business, just like so many people that are listening right now. And so, how do we do this? How do we get organized? And I'm wondering if it works for you, can we start in a few different rooms so you can give us some ideas on how to do that?
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm so glad you asked that because I want to give really practical tips that everyone can walk away with and do something about right away in their home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can we start with the messiest part of my house? I'm going to be a little selfish here. The kitchen.
Yes, we can, but first I need to go into organizing 101 for you, okay?
Okay, all right.
So basically everything that you do as far as getting organized is going to follow this pattern. And a lot of professional organizers have all their little different acronyms, but basically it's this. You're going to collect everything together in the area that you're working on, okay? You're going to start you're going to collect it all, and then you're going to group it all together into groups, and you're going to, sort it into piles based on what type of group it is, right? Then you're going to start looking, okay, I have 5 spatulas, okay? Take, for instance, your kitchen. So you're going to start eliminating all the excess that you have. And see, the only way you can eliminate is if you've collected and grouped them and sorted them, right? So those are your steps. Once you eliminate all the excess and determine what you don't need, you're going to actually containerize them. And the reason that you want to set up containerization systems is you make an agreement with yourself about, okay, how many spatulas does Marusha need? Well, she probably needs maybe, let's say 3. I want 1 for my eggs. I want 1 for my waffles. I need a giant one for, whenever I do pancakes or whatever, right? So you're going to containerize them so that containerizing basically gives you a predetermined amount of space. It's an agreement with yourself about how many of each item you need, and then when you containerize it, that keeps you within that limit. Okay, if each grouping does not have a specific space, or container, then your collection can get completely out of control, right?
Right.
So after it's containerized, and as you're containerizing, you're going to create a home. Okay, so where is the best place for, let's say, the spatulas again? Where's the best place for them to live? Okay, they're contained. Now, where are they going to live? And then you can go as far as labeling them if need be. Obviously, spatulas in a drawer wouldn't necessarily need to be labeled, but if you're containerizing it to containers as such with lids, then you would label them. That way it's a designated home. so to speak. So those are our basic organizing steps. If you can take those away, if nothing else, for each different space that we're going to talk about organizing, you'll see me kind of repeating these perhaps over and over again. But you need to follow that process in order to organize anything. So that's like your organizing 101 college. That's your associate's degree, okay? Now I could definitely talk to you about the the next step, the kitchen.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Okay. So with the kitchen, the main thing is for you, being your busy family, and maybe your children or whatever, you want to determine what type of activities are important to be doing in the kitchen. Everybody's a little bit different. Perhaps you want a study zone. Perhaps you want a breakfast zone. Perhaps you skip breakfast and but you always have to make lunches, and you need a lunch zone, okay? So once you come up with the activities that you want to do within your kitchen, then you're going to develop zones based around those activities, okay? So again, it's kind of creating like with like, because take, for instance, you're going to have, okay, I don't do breakfasts anymore, but our family actually does green smoothies every morning, okay? So I have created a zone that supports the green smoothie diet. Everything about making smoothies is right in this one area. It's right by the fridge where all the fresh produce is, which is right by where the Vitamixer is, and right above that is where all the nutrients and seeds and all the stuff that goes in the green smoothies are. So see, that's a zone for me now. Okay.
I see. Very cool.
Maybe with your child, if they're of school age, you might want to have a zone where they can actually get out their breakfast stuff. So you could have all the cereals and the bowls and the spoons at their level so that they can actually participate and help get breakfast. Maybe it's important within the kitchen that you're going to have a study zone or a homework zone, because you want the child to come in and do homework while you're perhaps prepping dinner. So you see, there's so many different things you can do within the kitchen. You need to determine first what you're going to do within the kitchen so that you can set up the zones, okay? Within each zone, you're going to obviously want to have all the tools that you need to do that type of activity. Like, for instance, for the kids, if the kids are going to help get their breakfast cereals out and whatnot, you can do that. Maybe you have a lunch packing zone. So within that are going to be the containers and the bags and lunch stuff, right?
Right.
And so that's important. And then obviously while you're setting up these zones and you will have been collecting and containerizing and eliminating, you've got to get rid of all the excess stuff that no longer serve you. So the thing to think about in a kitchen is, okay, well, I used to entertain all the time. This is what I hear a lot from my clients. I used to entertain all the time, and yet front and foremost in their kitchen are all the hostess stuff. Right there in their face. So they keep crawling over the hostessing stuff to get to their everyday dinnerwares, take for instance. So once you've determined really what the priority is, you're going to eliminate the excess. So some of my clients is like, I don't entertain anymore, we're retired, we don't go there or whatever. So guess what? All that extra hostessing stuff gets to go by the way of the ferry, right? Maybe they keep a platter or two, but they're not going to keep all that stuff in their face.
Right.
So is that kind of making sense to you?
Absolutely. Most definitely. I'm taking it in, writing notes. It's just absolutely fantastic. Now, I know another area that is so critical to so many of us, who are listening right now, is the master closet. I know this has always been also another problem area in my home, and it's like no matter how large my closet is or how small, I just never can find anything, like any of the clothes I want quickly, or really anything that I have stored in there. It takes forever for me to go through that. So do you have any suggestions for me and for our listeners around the master closet?
And you're not alone. I mean, the majority of people have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear. And that's just what happens.
Yes.
So, I have a whole seminar in this, but basically, you want to start out by getting the help of a friend to help you with this, because conquering your bedroom closet is not a one-person show. There's no way you can do it and get it done and have it, work out nicely. Because, number one, you can't see your backside in its full glory. So you want to get the help of a friend, and you want that friend to be someone that you agree with their fashion sensibility. It doesn't have to be a girl either. It can be a guy. Okay, so get someone that you trust their fashion sense and is going to be totally honest and open with you, because you're going to want to try on everything in your closet.
Okay.
I know it sounds daunting, but you're going to try on and swivel, and you're going to have that person say yes, no, maybe. The thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you're better than tears, snags, worn, stains. You're better than all that. So you want to eliminate all the stuff that doesn't fit you, that's out of date, that you don't wear, that's worn or torn, whatever, because you're way better than that. And you're going through this process so that you can step up your image anyhow and actually make getting out the door easier, looking better in the morning quicker. So you'll eliminate all this stuff. You're going to listen to your friend that you've enlisted tell you the truth, and you're just going to ditch it. So, you basically want to have some boxes and bags available for yourself. You want to have, a donate bag. You want to have an alterations bag. If it comes down to it, you want to keep something, but it just needs a little bit of alterations. You want to have a trash bag, and you want to have those things ready to go, so that as you go through this process, you can throw them in whatever box or bag fits for that item. Now, so you end up with all the clothes, right? So you have all the clothes that really work for you, that are the right style, that fit you. I mean, I could go on and on about this process, but I know we're on time limitations here. But once you get the clothes sorted that you know you want to keep, again, you want to not put everything back in the way you got it. You want to think about, how do I get dressed in the morning? The way I love to organize clients is I start with, okay, how do you get dressed, Marusha? What item do you decide first on when you get dressed in the morning? Is it your pants, your shoes, your socks, your shirts? What do you think? How do you decide to get dressed?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am.
Putting me on the spot. I think it really is my tops. Definitely my tops. I choose a top before anything else. Yeah.
Okay. I do too. I am all about how cold it is. So I start with the top and what length of sleeve I'm going to wear. Okay? So what happens with me is, guess what's first thing in my closet? My tops.
Your tops.
And guess how it's divided? By sleeve length.
Oh,
okay?
wow.
Not by color. I have all my sleeveless, then it goes to short sleeve, then it goes to long sleeve, all in a row, boom, boom, boom. So that's my first decision as well. So we're on the same page with that. So the very first thing in my closet, or the easiest, most accessible thing in my closet, are the shirts. From that, I decide on whether it's going to be a skirt or a slack or a short, and then I go into that. And then I go into jackets, and then I go into shoes.
Yeah, okay? Interesting. I've never thought about that before. Very cool.
Because a lot of people will just say, oh, just do it by color. Well, some people that's really good for, though. I mean, some people wake up and say, I am feeling like a purple day, and I'm going to wear purple. I mean, some of my clients do that, and that's fine. So you just really need to think of, how do you decide to get dressed in the morning, and you want to put the clothes back in according to your thought process, first, second, third, fourth. And then you want to reconfigure the closet based on that. The single rod with the shelf above it just is no longer appropriate for our society. So there's a lot of different ways that you can rearrange and reconfigure your closet on a dime. It doesn't cost much to do the drop-down hanging bags, to do a double hang pole or whatever. So once you decide how you're going to get dressed, if your closet configuration isn't really set up for that, head out to your local, your local big box store and see what kind of gizmos they have so that you can make your closet serve you better than just the shelf and the rod, because generally it doesn't work.
I love that. That's very cool. That's very cool.
And we could do, a whole day on this, so that's as quick as I can do it.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I can hear the passion you have around this, and I so appreciate that. That's what we're really needing at this time. So thank you so much for bringing that passion so we can stop being so overwhelmed. So now there is another area that, I know we're wrapping up the rooms right now because of time, and we want to respect our audience's time today. But there is another big room that I want to tackle, if we can, a little bit today, and that is the garage. You know, 'cause that is a very, very scary place in most homes here in the U.S. and probably all over the world.
Yeah, 23% of Americans cannot fit a single car into their garage.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, and here in Southern California, it's even higher. It's like 27% because we don't have attics or basements.
Oh wow.
Generally. So yeah, okay. Let's talk about the garage. So again, what do you want to do in your garage? Starts with that. Do you have a laundry room out there? Do you store your ski equipment? Do you have holiday? Or do you want it to be a little workout area? Like we have a punching bag in our garage, for heaven's sake. So a little mini workout area. So what do you really want to do in the garage? So you have to start with that. And then, of course, you're going to create the zones that are going to support whatever activity it is that you want to do in the garage. Hopefully, you want to store your car in the garage, so that should take a priority, in my opinion. I mean, many, many people that I work with in garage organizing is, they have a $40,000 car parked in the driveway, and then if by the time we add up the value of the contents of the garage, it's not even worth $1,000.
Wow.
So really determine your priorities on what needs to go into your garage, and hopefully your car is going to be part of that. Okay,
good point.
So you've created the zones. Hopefully you have a car parking zone, and then the other things that you want to do around that. You want to remove everything, and this is where it gets a bit daunting, and this is where it helps to have friends that will help you. And you want to remove everything and start going through all the boxes and get rid of the things that are excessive. Let's put it this way. If it comes to home decor and, tchotchkes, you have to ask yourself, if it's not good enough to be in your house, why do you need to store it in your garage? Why do you even need it? Right?
Yeah.
Holiday decor and memories, of course, it's kind of like a given place where you would store that. And, of course, it doesn't deserve to be in your house full-time necessarily. But, if it's tchotchkes and that kind of stuff, just get really strong with yourself about that and ask yourself, why are you really keeping it? The things that you do decide to store, you want to containerize them, hopefully in plastic bins. Because the bugs, ironically, I didn't know this till a couple years into my career, that the bugs, how we have bug issues in garages, it's not about the cardboard, it's about the glue in the cardboard.
Oh, interesting.
Like glue. Yeah. So you want to get rid of the glue, and you want to just use plastic containers wherever you can.
Okay.
You want to containerize. And then the most important thing is look up. Look at all the vertical space available in your garage and use it. Okay, so the beams above the garage, you can do something as simple as getting a piece of plywood and putting it above the beams to store the off-season stuff or the holiday decor. They have the drop-down systems now that are really inexpensive at Home Depot, Lowe's, where you can do the overhead hang on a dime. It doesn't really cost a lot. But there's also storage devices that you can use where you can go all the way up the wall and store your items, So try to go as far to the ceiling as you can, and then put all that stuff you don't use very often on the top shelf or above the beams. The most important thing, if you're getting ready to do a garage organizing day, because what happens is many, many people end up having a garage organizing month or two. They get it halfway done, and then they put it back in. Get it halfway done, put it back in. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is make sure that you have a donation, an escape route, basically, for the stuff you don't want. You don't want to put the stuff you don't want back in the garage at the end of the day because it's getting dark, right? You want to have an exit strategy. So you want to either have a charitable donation facility guarantee that's going to pick you up at 4:30 or so, or you want to have a truck that you can take it away, or take it away to the donation station before they close. So definitely have that kind of pre-plan in advance before you start your garage project.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I am definitely guilty of that. I've done that many times with good intention.
It's normal. It's normal for the garage thing to go into days and, months and months and months. and it just never gets done. So just make sure that you're set up, your garage, that your trash cans are empty, that you have an exit strategy for the stuff you don't want, and have a good game plan with some assistance to help you, friends or whatever, someone to help.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Kathy, one of the things I love about you is that you are just so passionate about this. You said it right at the beginning, and I know I shared a little bit about it right at the beginning as well, about how you truly have a heart for those of us who are listening right now, for those busy professionals, to find the passion again in their life, to live guilt-free and find freedom to do what they really want to do because clutter is gone and is out of their life. And I know recently you've created a course, an online course called Home Organizing Made Simple, that really supports those busy professionals like us to figure out how to actually do this in a step-by-step, small bit-by-bit process. Can you share with us a little bit more about your course and how does this work exactly?
Absolutely, and thanks for asking about that. I've worked a long time on delivering information to people that can't necessarily, afford to hire a professional organizer, someone like me, on a day-by-day basis. And so I created something where anybody can do it that makes it very simple, again, the step-by-step path to help them get their life in order. So what happens with this Home Organizing Made Simple program? It's online, and it goes week by week by week, step by step. It's designed to help you take control of your life, to help you shift through the changes that are going to be made possible through getting rid of your clutter, helping you creating more focus, and helping you just make those decisions and eliminating the stuff that is no longer appropriate in your life. So it's a week-by-week process. I go room by room, like we did on this seminar just a little bit, I go way into depth about it. I mean, every closet, every cupboard, every area in your house is covered with tips. I mean, even as far as, your bedside table. I mean, I go really in depth into helping you clear every aspect of your home, bit by bit, room by room, and giving you tips that I would give, my one-on-one clients on how to really put your mind around it and eliminate what no longer serves you. Because it's really about, does your home serve you now? And if it doesn't, let's make some change and let's make it happen. So that's how it's delivered. And it's delivered to help you eliminate that overwhelm by going piece by piece, room by room, slowly but surely. It's a self-paced course. I deliver new content to you every week, and so you have time in between to really work on the process. And, if life happens sometimes, and so if you get behind it, it really doesn't matter because the next module is waiting for you. And you just keep going plod by plod, step by step, and getting your life in order. So it's delivered to you weekly, and you can take it, you can take the challenge and do every single thing that I ask you to do each week, or maybe life happens, you don't get it done, or you go on vacation. It doesn't matter. The course is still there for you to support you so that you can start loving your home again and actually being excited about going back into your home.
Oh, wow. That sounds phenomenal. So when you say week by week, do we all start on the same week, or how is that organized exactly?
Yes, every person starts at week 1.
Okay.
And then every week it's delivered to you a new piece of information, a new tactic, a new thing to think about. And I do start with your relationship with change and your relationship with things, so that you can start putting your mind around how you got to where you are to begin with, and how you're going to start embracing and making the changes. And then we jump right into each step of the way, every nook and cranny and cupboard and every area in your home I will cover, plus some. I mean, because I even cover attics, and so if you don't have an attic, you can skip that module. If you do have an attic, it's good for you. I even go into basements, which here in Southern Cali we don't really have basements.
Mm.
But yeah, every person starts on their own course with Module 1, working all the way through. And we do have an ad space community where we'll be talking about you with other experts and other areas of your life that are affected as well. You know, mind, body, spirit. So you get a lot more than just getting your home in order. My goal is so that your whole life transforms, you know, so you can catapult into what you really want to do. Because let's face it, it's not really about the clutter in our homes necessarily. It's about our life isn't really where we want it to be. And so through the, you know, it's kind of sneaky like that. Through the act of getting rid of your crap, you know, and getting rid of your clutter, you transform. And that's what it's about. It's about transformation, really, of your whole entire, you know, just where you're at in life and moving forward.
That's fantastic. Oh, my gosh, I cannot wait to take the course. This is going to be fun. So for those that want to join me in taking the course today, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, it's so easy. All you have to do is take your first step and click on the link below, and you'll be able to get started organizing right away. And enjoying the course. And again, it's a week by week. You won't go into overwhelm, and that's how you get started. Very easy. Just click the link below.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Kathy, thank you so much for your time. It has been truly a pleasure to be here with you, and I am excited about taking this course. And you know, and for those who are here in the audience, I can't wait to see you in the community. All the best to you, Kathy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Marusha. I so appreciate it. And best of luck to all of you.